Welcome, friends. My name is Avinash Gorakshekar, and I welcome all of you again to another interesting episode of Konexio HighFlyers. As all of you are aware, friends, that this is an interesting series which covers emerging companies from emerging sectors, and we make it a point to talk to the promoters, the top managements of such companies, so that all of us can understand, such companies better in terms of their business model, their growth journey, their future growth plans. And in this process, a lot of valuable information is shared by the company's top management to us. And today, friends, we have got a very interesting company which is going to hit the capital market very soon. The company's name is Divyadhan Recycling Industries Limited. And we have the privilege and pleasure of having the managing director of the company, Mr. Varun Gupta ji. Uh, Varun ji, welcome to the show.
Thank you, Avinash. It is a pleasure to be here.
Yeah. So, sir, I'm pretty sure that in this small interaction, Varunji will be able to understand your company's operations in a much better manner. So, let
Okay.
us begin. So, Varunji, first question, which is very elementary. If you could tell us, what is the present business model of the company? What is the business positioning of our company in the domestic market? And another thing which I would like to know from you is, sir, how did this business journey start? How did you get into this business? क्या ये फर्स्ट जनरेशन का एफर्ट है या आपके पिताजी के टाइम से ये कंपनी शुरू हुई थी, बाद में आपने टेक ओवर किया? तो इसके बारे में हमको बताइए।
Absolutely, sir. It is a pleasure to talk about our story. We have a very interesting story. So, if you will allow me, maybe I will start with the journey first and then I will come to the products that we are doing right now. So, basically, I am born, brought up in Delhi. We are two partners. I am from Delhi, and Mr. Pratik, who also happens to be my brother, he is from Bombay. We both are engineers. I am an engineer in electronics, he's an engineer in computer science. And it is very interesting that for my MBA, I was in London. I've done my MBA from City University, London. So Pratik and I both happened to be in the UK at the same time. And for my dissertation, I was working on this project, which was on sustainability and recycling. So I spoke to him that this is a very, very interesting domain. And we both come from business family backgrounds. So I asked him, what is your future plan? He said that India is going to be the next big market for any kind of growth. So I am determined to go back to India. I don't want to work in the UK. And I was like, I also want to do the same, but let's do something around sustainability and recycling. So we came back and we spent 6 months. We wanted to get into the recycling of plastic, and PET being the most commonly used form of plastic. We both decided that we'll do something around the PET industry. So studied on the installation costs of a new project which is related to manufacturing of polyester staple fiber. So because of our humble backgrounds, we didn't have the family money to go and set up a new plant. So then we thought that let's look in the space if there is something existing in the similar space, and they are up for maybe selling, or we can acquire some distress asset. So
Yeah,
we basically looked at few projects, and then finally we zeroed on the Baddi unit, and we acquired the Baddi unit in Surface Act from Axis Bank. So
okay.
that is how we got the asset. And after we got the asset, we really celebrated that we've done wonders, and now the journey is begun and it's going to be fantastic. But then this is in 2016. So then after acquiring the asset, we realized that every single department in Himachal Pradesh had some or the other attachment to the unit, and we had to go to every single department, get all the licenses, permission, do all the statutory compliances. So the struggle and challenges really began after acquiring the factory. But yes, the I would say to all the investors, the upside of getting into a distress asset is that you get the asset at 20-25% of the cost of setting up a new plant. So of course that is a huge incentive for youngsters like us. We were 26 that time. It is 8 years back I'm talking. So we started the plant. Finally production came in 2019. So we started with a 20 metric ton per day wash line. I will explain what is a washing process. And we started with a 20 tons per day production of polyester staple fiber line. So
Okay.
this is the journey. And when you asked me that what are the products and domains that we are working in, so we started in 2019 with the simplest form of polyester fiber, which is solid fiber, which goes in the spinning application. So all the I would say apparels, shoes, carpets, bags, wherever stitching is involved, and the companies are using recycled fiber, that is where the solid fiber application lies. and that fiber usually trades as around 60-65 rupees. So the segment, operating segment in terms of price bandwidth for recycled polyester fiber in the country has always been between 60 to 95 rupees. So we started with the simplest form of fiber because we also were not from this industry, so we had to gain technical expertise and experience. And then we realized soon that it is very cluttered. We are making 20 tons per day. The other champions in the country, there are few recycle plants, they were doing 80 to 100 tons a day. So we realized this is a cluttered market, and boss, isme paisa nahi banne wala hai. So we definitely need to have an advantage edge, and we move towards niche category of fiber. So 2020, 2021, early 21, we started making hollow siliconized fiber. So hollow siliconized fiber is basically going in the application of non-woven. So any filling application, so if you're making cushions, stuffed toys, blankets, car seats, there hollow siliconized fiber goes. And interesting part is that raw material for both the product is the same. For a solid fiber, it is the same, and for a hollow fiber, it is the same. But the hollow usually trades at 80 to 85 rupees. But the technology that goes behind making the hollow fiber, there are few specialized chemicals. All that is basically secret of the game, which we cannot really reveal. So we moved into that, and then slowly, gradually in 2021, 2022, because of the location of the plant, we are located in Baddi, and the whole mandi for this hollow fiber consumption is Delhi, Panipat, and Ludhiana. And there is no other plant in North India which is manufacturing hollow fiber or the microfiber that we have moved to. So all those plants, there are 3-4 plants that are in the west. So then it becomes strategically, it becomes easy for us to supply, and we are making this fiber 365 days a year. The other players are basically moving into spinning, majorly spinning. Whenever there is some fall in spinning, they try to do hollow. So their quality and their supply is not consistent.
Exactly.
So I would not stretch the question, but yes, so we are right now at the moment, we are making washed flakes, 20 tons per day, which is for our self-consumption. We are making 20 to 25 tons a day, depending on whether we are making hollow fiber, microfiber, or now we are making conjugate fiber for the last 1 year, and conjugate trades at around 90 to 95 rupees. So we are making 20 to 25 tons of the specialized niche fiber every day. And in November 23, which was last year, from our internal accruals, the profits that we have made after repaying the debt to the bank, we basically installed a 10 ton per day capacity, which is around 300 tons per month for R-PET chips. So anybody who's intrigued and who's interested in the recycle space would know that this is the talk of the town. It is making a lot of noise, and now the R-PET chips is basically the future for PET recycling. Any company, big company, Coke, any company which is basically into bottling. So all the bottling is done from virgin pellets, and whether in US or in Europe, other developed nations, it is mandatory to use minimum 30% of recycled chips while pressing it. So it is about time, maybe in 6 months or 1 year, the mandatory requirement comes, and then it will be compulsory for people to start using recycled pellets. So this
Okay.
is our
No,
revenue
understood.
stream at the moment.
I think very nicely articulated by you, Varunji. Varunji, now tell me one thing. You mentioned that you make niche category, specialized quality of
Yes.
fiber. Earlier you were in the basic quality of the fiber. Now, currently, as of FY24, अगर
Yeah.
हम revenue mix की बात करें, तो सर कितना specialty से आता है?
If you talk about 24, we have stopped making the spinning grade fiber 3 years back.
Okay.
So, and we are lucky, and fortunately, the way my partner Pratik and we carry the business and we do marketing, we are always in surplus demand as compared to supply. So I would say that 45% is coming from hollow siliconized fiber, 45% is coming from the microfilling fiber that we are making for companies like Sleepwell, IKEA, Target. They are not our direct customer, but our channel partners are supplying to them.
Right.
And then 10% at the moment is coming from hollow conjugate fiber, which is trading at 90-95 rupees.
Okay.
The last 2-3 months, because you're not talking about this year, we have increased the hollow conjugate production by, so maybe in the next year, it'll probably they will be equal. And going forward, we want to focus more and more on hollow conjugate.
Okay. Understood. Acha, now, Varunji, tell me one thing in terms of the geographical reach. you said that you are located in Baddi. So basically, हमारे लिए geographically is that space a big kind of dominant customer area, or are we trying
Yes.
to in fact look at pan India exposure also slowly, via our distributors, channel partners? सर इसके बारे में कुछ बताइए.
Sir, Avinash ji, क्या होता है? The freight cost is so much that for us sitting in Baddi, I would rather than think of coming up with a plant in other part
हाँ,
of the country. But
exactly.
if I'm
Okay.
sitting in Baddi with my current production capacity, and also we are planning to double the capacity, it is very, very easy for us to sit there and supply the material within 200 kilometers of the vicinity.
Okay. Okay. So understood. Now I got your point very
In
well.
fact, people, sorry
Varun
to
ji,
cut
now
in,
tell me
but
one thing.
people who have put up the plant in West also have to then ship the material to these areas only.
Exactly.
Yes.
बिल्कुल, बिल्कुल. नहीं, I think got your point, Varun ji. Now, Varun ji, tell me one thing that, since you have, started the business from scratch, you bought a distress asset. Today, we are sitting on a very, promising product where growth is, happening very solidly. Tell me one thing, sir, अगले 3-4 साल में आपको मार्केट अपॉर्चुनिटी ये hollow fiber के लिए क्या दिख रहा है? I mean, you mentioned names like Sleepwell, etc. Now,
Yeah.
these are all, urban products, which people have started using. अभी पुराने गद्दे कॉटन के गद्दे के बारे में बहुत कम बातें होती है. So
Correct.
people are gradually getting into the brand wagon. Tell me one thing, sir, in terms of the market opportunity, हमारे लिए कितना बड़ा रनवे है और हम इसको कैसे कैपिटलाइज करें?
Sir, Avinash ji, I will tell you that right as on date, because we are in this business for last 6 years. So the consumer awareness, the environmental policies, everything is changing dynamically. So now the need and the, because earlier when we started, this was not a need based product. When we started
Correct.
promoting recycling in the country, we were going to customers and telling them that, listen, it'll bring down your raw material cost, and also you will be helping the environment. But now I feel that the trend is changing. Now it is a need based product. The bigger players are really conscious that they want to market their product, telling their customers that, okay, fine, listen, we are here and we are using this much percent of recycled fiber. And other players, they don't have choice because it is mandatory by the government. So
Okay.
whatever product is right now consuming virgin pet, a time has to come where, which is, we are on that trajectory right now, where recycle product would be used. So if you know the consumption for virgin pellets, you can now then calculate the consumption for recycle pet.
Okay. Okay. Understood. No, I think very nicely articulated. Now, Varun, tell me one thing that in terms of the product categories, you said that you have stopped making the basic fiber, concentrated more on the hollow fiber. Sir, pricing is industry में कैसे चलती है? Like, is it a standardized product or depending upon the cost of the raw material plus your conversion cost जो भी होता है, उसके हिसाब से आप month to month या maybe at some point of duration you tell your customers कि now the price is X.
Yes.
Earlier it was X. So does it work like that, or do you have fixed pricing for large customers? I mean, I just wanted to understand this
No,
aspect.
no, sir. I will definitely answer. It's a very good question. So we are making 700 tons a month. So what happens is that we have identified 3-4 channel partners in Delhi, Panipat, Ludhiana, Jaipur, which are the most efficient and they are the best in their respective areas. So we do like a 50 ton or a 100-ton order. Of course, the prices of the raw material changes every day, but it is not possible for us to change the price of our end product every day. So we do like a 100-ton order where we decide the price, and then the channel partner has to lift the material in say 5 to 10 days depending on their selling capacity. And for them,
Okay.
during that PO, the price remains the same.
Okay. So basically, that is how the pricing is decided. Okay. Now, Varun ji, you tell me. See, every industry has got some competition. Now, what
Yeah.
is the level of competitive intensity in our industry? क्योंकि सर देखिए recycling में तो अभी सारे लोग जाग चुके हैं. Everybody knows what is the benefit. But you have spent 6 long years in this industry. You know the industry better. You got a good customer base. Tell us one thing, sir. In terms of competitive intensity, can we safely assume कि सबको अच्छा खासा धंधा मिलता है and still the industry should grow healthily over the next say 2 to 3 years? और अभी at the stage where अभी भी take off stage ही है कि अपने को धंधा मिलने का कोई problem नहीं है. Business is
Sir,
there for everyone.
Sir, absolutely. Recycle industry is now, I would say, 10 to 12 years old in the country. There are bigger players than Divyadhan who are operating in the solid fiber segment, and they are also continuously coming up with more lines. So a person who's doing 80 to 100 tons production monthly, they are now wanting to grow their production by 50 to 80 tons again. So there is there is enough demand for everyone, because I told you that the policies are changing. So
Correct.
every time the demand is also increasing. It is mandatory for companies who are into textiles. Anyone who's making a shirt or a bag, he has to use recycled fiber. But
Correct.
with Divyadhan, how we see it, that we do not only want to be in economies of scale. We don't want that we are making 200 tons and we are operating at very lean margins. We want to be in the niche
Ah,
segment. We have
correct.
operated for 6 years. We have seen COVID times. We've seen strikes in Baddi. We've seen Notbandi. We've seen when the price for petroleum had dropped and people had to actually pay for other people to buy their petroleum and lift it. I've seen that in Middle East. So we have faced all that, and we knew that if you are into a niche market segment and if you're making quality product, then you will be the last one to be wiped out when the mandi comes.
Exactly.
So at the moment we are having three revenue streams. One is our pet flakes, which again at the moment is basically used by us self consumption as our raw
Okay.
material for our PSF line, polyester staple fiber line, and the rpet chips line. But with the
Okay.
expansion plan that we are increasing our production from 20 tons per day to 70 tons per day of the washing line. Washed flakes
Okay.
also, right now the B2B flakes are really really emerging, and there's exponential growth that we see in the wash flakes, because not everybody has a wash line. So a lot
Okay.
of people, they would just probably put a food grade recycle pellet line, and then for their raw material they'll go to other wash line people. So
Okay.
we
Okay.
right now we are very agile and we are dynamic. For the next 3 years we want to wait out and we want to see what is the market telling about the recycle pellet growth, because we are ahead of the curve. We now, for the last 3 months, we are going to customers who are into preform and bottle blowing, and we are educating them, sitting with them and telling with them that that please boss, use this recycle pellet. It is actually going to be mandatory in time to come, and we are going
Ah,
to reduce your raw material costs. So we have to educate them.
exactly.
So
Okay.
our current strategy is that in the next 3 to 6 months we want to bring our 300 ton per month production of recycled pellets to full production. keep
Okay.
the keep the production capacity of our niche fiber constant, and try and make more and more conjugate fiber, which fetches a most premium. And with the
Correct.
wash flakes, 20 to 30 tons will be used for self consumption, and the balance 30 tons we want to sell in the market.
Okay. Okay.
And
Understood.
I think by March 2026 we will
Ah,
see where we are making the most amount of money in out of these three verticals, and then we
okay.
will pivot over there for the next few years.
Okay, understood. No, no, I think very nicely articulated, Varunji. Now, Varunji, tell me one thing. Let's leave the financial numbers aside that all of us are aware. Sir, tell me, sir, how do we differentiate ourselves with other players in the industry? यानी अगर मैं value addition की बात करूँ, so is it our service? Is it our quality? You mentioned a lot about quality. I mean, I
Yeah.
want to understand what is it that differentiates us and says that okay, we are doing a slightly better job than others in the industry. If you can put down two, three qualitative points for us
Sir,
so
I
that we
have
can
I have
understand.
endless number of qualities of how we can tell that why we are different from the industry. If you see our journey, we at 26 took over an asset. We completely turned it around. At the moment, we are making a fiber which is selling at a premium in North India. You go to any of the customers who are in working in this domain, in these applications, and you just ask them which fiber you are using for micro or hollow conjugate, and Divyadhan will be on the top, and they will tell you that we are paying a premium and we are very happy with the services. So I would say the brand value that we have created in the market from a distressed asset, people are not able to do it from the new setup that they are able to do. Also, I will say that we are debt free. There is only 48 lakh rupee of loan on the plant at the moment. So in the next 3 months we are going to be debt free. So you are
Okay.
looking at a plant which has a 3 acre land. I'm talking about the tangible assets. You have a 3 acre land which is of the value of 30 crores. Then you have the 3 acre land is covered with building and shed and everything. You have machinery worth 20 crores, and there are ancillary utilities in the plant, and you are debt free. So I
Okay.
don't see that happening with any other competitor. The money that we are raising for this particular investment, we have done huge market survey. In 18 to 20 crores that we are deploying from this fundraise, you go to any other plant, they will not be able to bring their capacity up with minimum, I would say, double the investment. They will not be able to do it, because it is very important for everyone to understand not even a single penny is going in any land acquisition. We have surplus land. No money is going in any power enhancement. any civil work, the entire fund is going to be deployed on the machine, and that machine will bring more than double the production that we are having currently.
No, understood. ठीक है. I think Varun ji.
And sir, last but not the least, we should give a lot of credit to my partner and myself. I think we have done a lot of study. We have always tried to be ahead of the curve, and we are able to somehow forecast what the future trend is going to be. And we have always understood, because this is because of the values that we've got from our parents. Both our parents are self-made, so we have always operated Divyadhan in terms of sustainability and stabilizing the project. We have never taken risk which is beyond our servicing capability. So we know that this is the risk that we will take. Even if it backfires, we are able to pay debt to the bank. We are able to show some profit, and it's okay if we don't run that machine for 6 months. We can keep doing trials. So we work in that fashion.
I think it clearly means that you take calculated risk, but you don't take undue risk, which is very important in the business. And plus, as you rightly mentioned, frankly, you all have been ahead of the curve, so you all should benefit immensely going forward. Varunji, now let's talk about the financials. I was just seeing your financials for FY24. Sir, 24 के लिए number तो अच्छे हैं. I think profit after tax is about 2.37 crores. Earlier it was 2.16 crores. Now I wanted to understand, sir, अगर हमारा dominance है hollow fiber में, अगर हम customers जैसे sleepwell रखते हैं, तो सर इस साल 2.16 से 2.37 करोड़ हो गया है. ये मेरे ख्याल से कोई इतना बड़ा एग्रेसिव ग्रोथ दिखता नहीं है. तो पहले तो मेरे को बताइए कि सर इसका मेन रीजन क्या था. और दूसरा, मैं देख रहा था कि सर रेवेन्यू जो लास्ट 3 साल का है ना, आई मीन आप काम बहुत अच्छा कर रहे हो, प्रोडक्ट भी बहुत अच्छा है, आई मीन फुल मार्क्स टू यू एज अ प्रमोटर. बट सर the markets obviously look at revenue growth for the last 2-3 years. Now what is the main reason why we have remained at around 55-57 crore? सर अगर अपॉर्चुनिटी इतनी बड़ी है तो हम लोग को भी तो ग्रो करना चाहिए. और मुझे लगता है कि सर जो बातें हमने अभी तक की है, आई एम क्वाइट श्योर दैट द स्काई इज द लिमिट फॉर अस. सो सर प्लीज कमिंग ऑन.
Sir, what happens is that we are not a trading company कि हमने 1-2 करोड़ कहीं से लोन ले लिया और उसके बाद हमने अपनी ट्रेडिंग की क्वांटिटीज को बढ़ा दिया. We are a manufacturing company, and we have I've already explained you how we have started our journey. So if we do not increase any production capacity, how can you expect an incremental growth in terms of the top line? The top line majorly is going to be the same. I think for all the investors to understand the value that these two boys have moved from a very basic category to a niche category, and have also spent 2.5-300 crores from internal accruals without taking any further loan from the bank, and set up a polyester for a recycled chips line. So I think for us it is already commendable that what we have done, and we have maintained profitably, and we have repaid the debt. The idea with Pratik and myself will always been that we wanted to basically make this plant firstly loan free, and now we are gearing up to switch gears, because in case if we want to exponentially expand, now is the time where money is needed to do it, and we have the full experience and expertise and confidence also to deliver what we are promising.
Okay. No, understood. So, sir, now the most important question for the interview is, as you rightly mentioned, now you are going to do fundraising, you are going to hit the capital market. Sir, what is the total amount we are planning to raise? And if you can just tell us again, what is the main objective? Is it only the capital expenditure part, or will some money be used for working capital plus for some other purposes? So, if you could tell us the objective of the fundraising also.
Yes, sir, we are going to raise 24 crores, and 18 to 20 crores is basically only used for capital expansion, and the marginal money, which will be good amount of money, is going for the expenses to support the issue of the IPO, and a very nominal amount will be used for working capital.
Oh, understood. Varunji, now just a simple question. You said a major portion will go for the capital expenditure.
Yes.
So can we assume that now the company is going to be on a takeoff stage where जो हमने पहला सवाल आपको पूछा कि रेवेन्यू फ्लैट क्यों था, आपने बोला कि हमने प्रोडक्शन कैपेसिटी बढ़ाई नहीं थी तो उतना ही था. तो आई टेक योर पॉइंट. So now with new capacity coming in, can the next 2 years see a reasonably good amount of strong growth in terms of top line and profits? I mean, without putting a number.
Sir, Avinashji, of course, we're not allowed to give numbers, but I'm saying that this year we have already, so the machines and all already have been ordered from the internal resources of the factory, and we are expecting the machinery to reach us by December this year, and the installation will take 3 months. So this year there will be 20 to 25% increase in the revenue that will come from the already installed rpet chips line on which the trials are going on. So you will see a good growth, 20-25% growth from the existing machinery. And going forward, April 2025 next year to March 2026, you will see more than double the numbers in terms of the top line.
Okay. No, understood. Arunji, I think very logical and very rightly said by you. Tell me one thing, sir. Normally in our business, I mean, just I wanted to understand when your top line increases, can we assume that your profitability also improves,
Absolutely.
in
Absolutely,
proportion
it
to
will
that?
increase. Absolutely increase, Avinashji, because we are focusing on two other verticals, which is pet wash flakes and also the R pellet chips. So the
Okay.
net profits in both these verticals are 3 times what we are doing in the fiber segment right now. So
Okay.
as I told you earlier that we are going to push all these three, wait out and watch which is the most profitable, and then pivot towards that.
Okay, understood. So I think nice to know that. Varunji, now you spoke about working capital. You said that very little amount is required for working capital. But sir, हमारे धंधे में normally working capital cycle का period कितना लंबा होता है? You get the order, you manufacture the product and then you sell it to the channel partner. The channel partner then gives you the money. Sir, इसमें मोटा मोटी working capital cycle हमारा कितना लंबा होता है?
Sir, here also I would like to, it's not that I want to boast about the working for Divyadhan, how efficiently we are running it. But when I see our competitors, it is easily between 45 to 60 days from the date of invoicing of the fiber. But for Divyadhan, because we are making a niche category and we enjoy the over demand compared to supply, the maximum credit period that our average is 15 days, as the maximum we extend to our channel partner is 30 days.
Okay.
And the raw material that we are purchasing, it is a very interesting story that when we acquired the factory, even if we were willing to give advance payments to the raw material suppliers, we were not getting the raw material because everyone had some or the other outstanding with the previous promoter. But in the
हाँ,
5 years of our dedicated work and service, now we enjoy 10 to 15 days of credit.
okay.
And
So
we
I
are
think very
buying at a cheaper price. Our competitors in the vicinity are buying at a higher price because they are not able to pay their raw material suppliers on time. And they know
okay.
if we sell to Divyadhan, we'll get the payment within 10, maximum 15 days.
Okay. No, I think this is really interesting and very positive for the company because working capital is the heart of the business. और सर
Absolutely.
अगर इसको आप अच्छी तरह से मैनेज करते हो तो आपके कैश फ्लोज में बहुत अच्छा इंप्रूवमेंट आगे भी देखने को मिलेगा. सर लास्ट
Avinash ji will definitely need more working capital because when the monthly sale will increase, so that 15 days, 30 days, the outstanding that we have, of course, that will also
करेक्ट
double, triple. But for that,
करेक्ट
we already have existing working capital limit from the bank, which is unutilized at the moment. Yes.
So you got enough working capital limits already at your disposal. Fine. लास्ट क्वेश्चन अभी वरुण जी मेरे को बताइए कि सर हमने कोविड देखा है which was one of the most biggest natural calamities.
Yes.
I want to understand, sir, in our business now you have spent 6 long years. You have actually created a company out of a distress asset. Today we are fortunately touch wood by God's grace we are on the cups of very strong growth. सर हमारे धंधे में सबसे बड़ा रिस्क क्या है? I mean, as a promoter, you and Pratik, what is it that you normally say that this is the most important variable which we have to monitor and control so that
Sir,
everything goes smoothly? Sir, ये
I think
बताइए.
I think that is complacency. Also, it is being very happy with where you are. It is very easy for us. We are going to repay the debt in next 3 months. It is we should be, as promoters, we could have had that mindset that boss, now we are not paying interest to the bank. Both of us will make handsome money, and the business is already set. We are enjoying good reputation in the market. Now let's take a break and enjoy our life. So I think
हाँ,
complacency and being happy with whatever you have done, and also not being able to see what is there in future, because I think recycling is an ever growing industry in terms of technology also. So I
correct.
cannot say that at the moment PSF fiber is very relevant. I don't know that 5 years down the line, maybe some new technology comes in where they say that you can maybe bypass the, say, the draw line, and you can directly draw fiber from the spinning. So you need to be ready for what is going to be next in 5 years. And if you're able to do these three things together, then I probably feel that you can really advance in. So right at the moment we are only doing pet recycling. but we both have a vision where there is a lot of scrap which is generated while we are recycling the PET, and that scrap we are selling as a byproduct. We want
Correct.
that if there is any non-PET or any other form of plastic generated, that we enter into that recycling segment and we create a value in that also. And there
Correct.
also we then, it should be a zero scrap plant.
Correct. Okay. Yeah, ठीक है. So I think very nice talking to you, Arun ji. I think a lot of interesting things we could understand from today's conversation. And sir, please accept my best wishes to you, your entire management team. And sir, public issue के लिए भी बहुत बहुत best wishes. Thank you very
Thank
much.
you, sir.
धन्यवाद.
Sir, I will like to just conclude this with one statement, that I will urge and request all the investors to look at Divyadhan with a minimum 2 to 4 5 year plan. I would want that any investor who's thinking that we'll turn around, we'll do some magic in the next 1 year or 6 months and they will get great value. So I will urge them that that will not happen, and we want to be very honest with all the investors. So please have a vision with 3 to 5 years, and I assure you, I promise you that it will be one of the best investments in any company that you would have done by now.
I think thank you very much, sir. Once again, best wishes.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.